Okay, so we're going to learn how to make the raya knots. So you need to cut a bunch of yarn that is all about the same length. And imagine that half of the length will be the length of your fringe. So to make a raya knot, you find the middle, you go over 2 of the warp strings, and then hold the yarn over those 2 warp strings and tuck in the yarn on one side over its warp string and the other side under the other warp string, and then you just pull it down. So this is the knot here with the fringe coming down. Now you'll need to decide for your piece how thick and bulky you want the fringe to be, or how kind of thin and minimalist you want it to be. So for this raya knot, I did 2 pieces of yarn for the raya knot. If I were to do one, I could come next to this one again, go over, find the middle, go over 2 warp strings, tuck in one side of the yarn around its warp string, and tuck the other piece, the left side, under its warp string, and then pull it down. And you can just see that this raya knot's bigger than this one and a little less bulky. I personally don't like to add so many pieces of yarn that the width of the fringe ends up being so much bulkier than the piece, but you could. So I like to kind of evenly match it. So for this piece, I'd probably do this one with 2 pieces because it is pretty thick yarn I'm using. Of course, if you were to do 3, it'd be even bulkier. So I'm going to take this one out because I like the 2 pieces of yarn. So I'm going to do another one, 2 pieces of yarn, find the middle. So you could do raya knots where you use these 2 warp strings and kind of overlap the raya knots. I like them to be kind of uniform and all next to each other. So let's see if I can zoom in for this next part so you can see it even better. And I'm going to do my next raya knot. I have 2 pieces. I found the middle. I'm going in over the 2 warp strings next to my previous raya knot. I'm tucking in the 2 pieces on the right. Oh, I only got one through. And then I'm taking the yarn over the warp string on the left and just gently pulling down the raya knot. So there's 2. I'll do the same thing here. A really fun thing I do to get inspiration is I go on Pinterest and I type in wall hangings or weavings, and I look up other people's weavings and get inspired and take bits and pieces from different weavings I like and incorporate them into my own weavings. It's fun to look at how other people do their fringe. Some people mix a bunch of different colored yarns, so their fringe is all different colors. Some people do color blocking. And then people cut it all types of ways. You could cut it coming to a point. You could cut it with a wave to it. Of course, you could cut it really short, cut it long. You could also do the majority of it a certain length, but have some hanging even lower or shorter. And I like to just trim it once my whole piece is done so I can take a step back and look at how long I want my fringe to be. So that is raya knots. I'll finish up going all the way across, and then you'll be ready for the body of your weaving.